Welcome back to the No Modern Tools series. Today, we are logging into the 12th century server, specifically the Peasant Life DLC. And let me tell you, the difficulty is set to hardcore. Today, we gotta survive. Your hunger bar is flashing, you have 0 health potions, and there is no Uber Eats. We are making medieval bread. But hold up, if you think we're just crafting 3 wheat into a loaf like vanilla Minecraft, you are dead wrong. We're talking about Maslin bread. This is the real deal. No instant yeast, no electric mixers, and plot twist, you aren't even allowed to own an oven. So, grab your pickaxe because we're about to grind. Literally, let's get this bread. Okay, first things first. Check the inventory. If you're a peasant in the 1100s, you aren't eating that fluffy white Wonder Bread. That's for the admins, I mean the lords and ladies. We are crafting Maslin. Maslin is basically the OG diversified portfolio. Farmers would plant wheat and rye together in the same field. Why? Because if the weather bugs out and kills the wheat, the rye survives. It's RNG manipulation at its finest. Now we gotta grind this, and I don't mean XP grinding, I mean physically crushing grain between 2 rocks. The flour we get? It's called the grist. It's got everything in it. The bran, the germ, probably some dirt from the floor. It's gray, it's heavy, and it feels like sand.
Happy holidays.
Rye is the MVP here. It keeps the bread moist for like a week. Which is good because, spoiler alert, we are not baking every day. Who has the fuel for that? Not us. All right, we have flour. Now we need the magic. We need the lift. But guys, Fleischmann's yeast packets won't be invented for another 700 years. So how do we make this brick rise? We have 2 options and both are kinda sus.
Nani?
Option A, we go to the brewery. If your dad is brewing ale, which everyone drank because water was basically poison, you skim the foam off the top. That's called barm. It's pure yeast, baby. Option B, the sourdough starter. This is basically a pet rock you have to feed. You take a chunk of dough from last week's bake, let it get hard and crusty, and then revive it with warm water. This is wild yeast. It's slow, it's moody, and it tastes sour. We mix the old dough with warm water and fresh flour to make a sponge. We let this sit for a few hours until it starts bubbling. It's alive. Literally. Now, the real work begins. We dump the rest of the Maslin flour into this massive wooden trough, pronounced trough. Because we're using rye, this dough has 0 chill. It's sticky, it's heavy, and it has low gluten. You can't just stretch it like a pizza, you have to fight it. The technique here is basically a boxing match. You punch it, fold it, punch it again. You do this until your arms fall off. We want it shiny and smooth. Once it's kneaded, we cover it with a linen cloth. Now, here's the problem. It's the 12th century. There's no central heating. Your house is freezing. Yeast hates the cold. So we drag this heavy trough right next to the hearth, the fire pit. We let it sleep there overnight. 12 hours of AFK time. Rise and shine. The dough has puffed up. Not huge, but it's wider. We shape them into 2-kilo boulders called boules. Now, you might be thinking, okay, let's toss this in my kitchen oven. Wrong, you don't have an oven. Ovens are massive fire hazards and cost too much wood. You have to use the communal oven owned by the Lord of the Manor. All right, dough is molded. But before we step outside, we gotta do a vibe check on the weather. Remember, there is no Weather Channel. There is no Siri. We are running on pure grandpa logic. I'm looking at the skybox. See that red glow in the east? There's an old patch note from the Bible. Red sky at morning, sailors take warning. That's bad RNG, guys. And look at the smoke from that hut over there. It's sinking, not rising. In modern science, that means low pressure. In 1100s logic, it just means it's about to rain, and if your dough gets wet, you starve. We have maybe 20 minutes before the server spawns a thunderstorm. We gotta speedrun this trip to the oven. Let's go. This is the ultimate microtransaction. It's called furnage. You have to pay the Lord a tax, usually in flour or bread, just to cook your own food. If you try to bake at home, that's illegal. You get banned from the server. But wait! There's a problem! If everyone in the village throws their bread into the same massive oven, how do you know which one is yours? This is crucial. You need a bread stamp. Or you take your knife and slash a specific pattern on top. This is your signature. It's your DRM. If you don't mark it, your neighbor Steve is absolutely gonna steal your lunch. The baker checks the temp by throwing flour in. If it burns black, too hot. If it turns brown slowly, we are golden. 220 degrees Celsius, baby.
That's amazing.
We slide the loaves in with a wooden peel. Since maslin is dense, it bakes for like 2 hours. Slow and steady. While that bakes, let's talk about the meta. You can't just eat dry medieval bread. You'll break a tooth. The crust is like armor plating. We need a dipping sauce. We need pottage. Pottage is the forever stew. You never wash the pot. You just add more stuff. What's in it? Oats to thicken it, no cornstarch allowed. Peas and beans, protein for the gains. Cabbage, onions, leeks. No potatoes, no tomatoes. Those are in the America server, and that map hasn't been unlocked yet. Okay, the bread is done. It's been cooling for a day. It's rock hard. Here's how you eat it. You don't make a sandwich. You use the bread as a spoon. Dip that chunk into the hot pottage. Let it soak up the juice. It softens up, absorbs the flavor, boom. Or if you're feeling fancy, you use the bread as a trencher. You carve out the middle, pour the soup inside the bread, eat the soup, and then eat the bowl. Zero waste lifestyle. So, that is the build. A heavy, sour, nutrient-dense brick of maslin bread paired with a perpetual veggie stew. Honestly, it's kind of a vibe. It's hearty. It keeps you full for 10 hours so you can go farm dirt. But here is my question for you guys. And I want you to be honest in the comments. We live in a world of fluffy, sugary white bread that goes bad in 3 days. Medieval bread lasted weeks and fueled empires. If a zombie apocalypse hit tomorrow and the grocery stores closed, could you survive on this? Could you keep a sourdough starter alive? Or would you game over in week 1? Let me know below. Smash that like button if you learned something. Subscribe for part 3. I'm out. Peace.
Nani?
Smash that like button.